Hare Krishna. So we will start our class this evening. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwapadantikam Vande Aham Sri Guru Sri Yudapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhatamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kam karoti vachalam pangam hete giri Yat kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Paramanandamana Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Katanchana Smriti Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Viparitam Shat Sri Chaitanya Nana Sastra Vicharanai Kani Punam Sadharma Samstapaka Lokanam Hitakarina Tribhuvane Manyao Saranaka Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Namatali Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyuga Sri Jiva Gopala. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures, with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings, as they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Jai Sri Sri Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, welcome all the devotees to our Bhakti Sastri class. So today we try to cover the first and second chapter of Nectar of Devotion. So before that, I would like to ask who have read these two chapters, chapter 1 and 2. Please raise your hands. Or nobody have read it. Or maybe half, maybe something. How many of you have read this chapter 1 and 2? Okay, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu and other devotees. All right. So, yeah, it's always important to read whatever topic that uh, we will discuss in the class. So prior, this is called Purva Swadhyaya. Purva Swadhyaya means that you have to study prior to the class. This is called Purva Swadhyaya. Yeah, just read. I'm saying just read. Okay, you may not be focusing on something, but just read. It's okay. At least something will, you will get familiar with what we are going to discuss. So that's the idea. And come back to the first meeting of our Bhakti Sastri class. If you still remember, I was mentioning that I'm here not exactly to teach you, but I am here just to facilitate, by which you will be encouraged to read these 4 books. Because everything is already there. Everything is already given by Srila Prabhupada. So my present here is not to teach something new. My present here is just, to make you, to encourage you to read Srila Prabhupada's book. That's it. Hare Krishna. So, all right. Now, how many of you have watched the video on the introduction of the Nectar of Devotion that I have made this morning? So some of you may, whoever have watched that, you can kindly share whatever you still remember from that video, or if any question you may ask now. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, you would like to share something, what you remember from the introduction? No? Yeah, something that you remember, or anybody else would like to share what are there in the introduction? All right, if nobody would like to share, I will share. So in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada, he was offering prayers, Mangalacharan, in order to invoke auspiciousness before further writing the Nectar of Devotion. And there are 2 types of Mangalacharana I mentioned in that video. One is when you pray to the Acharya, and ultimately it goes up to Krishna, begging for their mercy. And the second type of Mangalacharan is when the uh, author of the book giving the blessing. It is kind of Shruti file. It's kind of Shruti file. Shruti file means the benefit, the result, that what you will get after reading it, after hearing. So that's the second type of Mangalacharana, that the blessing that the author give to the reader. And we find also the definition of pure devotional service is touched by Srila Prabhupada in the introduction, the Anya Vilasita Sunyam verse that is covered in the introduction. All right, so on that base, we will start the first chapter of the Nectar of Devotion, chapter entitled Characteristic of Pure Devotional Service. So in the introduction, we find the uh, the meaning, the explanation of what is pure devotional service. So pure devotional service is Anya Vilasita Sunyam. This is according to Srila Goswami. Anya Vilasita Sunyam Jnana Karma Jnana Vitam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. So that is Bhakti Uttama, the first class bhakti, because devotional service has some grades, like Karma Mishra Bhakti, and then another type is pure devotional service. So motivated devotional service and unmotivated devotional service. So unmotivated devotional service is called Uttama Bhakti, or that devotional service without any material motivation, is performed without any material motivation. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Shunyam means devoid. So devoid of material desire. Then Jnana Karma, Jnana Vritam, devoid of Jnana and Karma. Jnana here refers to the impersonal knowledge which is giving the conclusion of the impersonal uh, aspect, impersonal liberation. And then karma here refers to the karma kanda, fruitive activities. So one had to be free from any material desires, desire to merge with the Brahman, with the impersonal Brahman, and desire for karma, fruitive activities. You want something out of the performance of devotional service, materially speaking. So when one is free from all this and executing devotional service with pure hearted. So that is the Uttama Bhakti. And what is the another symptom of that Uttama Bhakti? It is performed in a favorable mood. So we have discussed there in the introduction that just like Kamsa is also thinking about Krishna, but in the unfavorable way. So that is cannot be considered as devotional service. That cannot be considered as bhakti, although he is Krishna conscious. Although it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is that? Tasmat vairanu bandena nirvairina bhayena snehat kamena vayunjan kanchin na iksati prita. So it doesn't matter what is the motivation of someone behind why he's thinking of Krishna. Krishna is seeing only that aspect. Okay, he's thinking of me, I'll give him liberation. I'll give him liberation. Tasmat vaira anubandena. One may think of Krishna as enemy. Vaira means he wants to fight. Nirvairena, or in a devotional mood, Kamenava Yunjat, or in the lusty mood. Still, Krishna see only that one aspect. Na iksate prita. He doesn't see the other defect. But still, just like Kamsa or Ravana, mentioned in the introduction by Srila Prabhupada, how they are thinking of Krishna, although they are Krishna conscious, practically speaking 24 hours by 7, that cannot be counted as devotional service. So now we would like to discuss about what are the characteristics of pure devotional service. Okay, pure devotional service is so sublime and satisfying that devotees engaged in Krishna service don't want anything besides the service, not even liberation of Salokya. Salokya means wanting to be in the same planet with Krishna. Salokya. Okay, we enter. There are 5 kinds of liberation, namely to become one with the Lord, to live with the Supreme Lord on the same planet, to have the same features as the Lord, to enjoy the same opulences as the Lord, and to live as a companion of the Lord. A devotee, what to speak of rejecting material sense gratification, does not even want any of 5 kinds of liberation. He is satisfied simply by discharging loving service to the Lord. That is the characteristic of pure devotion. This is according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 3rd canto. Yeah. Salokya sarsi samipya sarupya ekatvam apyuta diyamanam nagritanti vinamat sevanam jana. So vinamat sevanam jana. The only desire that he has is to serve the Lord. Vinamat sevanam. So only to serve the Lord. What to speak of this? What to speak of material sense gratification? Your devotees, they even don't want liberation. In the above statement by Kapila Deva from Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual position of a pure devotee is described, and the primary characteristic of pure devotional service are also defined. Further characteristics of devotional service are described by Rupa Goswami with evidences from different scriptures. He states that there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, which are as follows. So this is a very famous verse. Klesagni Subhada Moksa Lagutakrik Sudurlaba Sandrananda Visisatma Sri Krishna Karsini Chasa. Okay, what is Klesagni? Anybody would like to define what is Klesagni? We have been talking about this many times. What is Klesagni? I'm trying to make this class to be interactive. So when we have an interactive session, I feel the class is going on well and everybody is involved. So it is not only about me speaking and you listening, but everybody should contribute. Okay. Anybody would like to contribute? What is Klesha Agni?
Adhyatmic klesha about
Sorry?
3 kleshas, 3 different type of kleshas.
No, thank you for your contribution. But my question is that what is meant by Klesha Agni? All right, this is there in the first chapter. Okay. Klesha Agni means
Giving it right.
yeah.
Kleshagni.
Relief.
Kleshas means all the miseries and the fire of miseries which will be burning in the material world.
Yeah.
The Jiva is entering.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Klesha Agni means to distinguish the fire of suffering. Srila Prabhupada give this translation. Pure devotional service begins immediate relief. Pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. This is called Klesha Agni. And then Subhada. Of course, if you see your book, you will find this Subhada means pure devotional service is bringing all auspiciousness. Subha means auspiciousness, and the word da means to give, like the word narada. Narada means Nara refers to Narayan, da means to give. So Narada means one who gives Narayan, or Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And also like Yashoda, Yasha means fame, da means to give. So the one who gives fame to Krishna. So Krishna becomes famous. And Kirtida, the one who gives, expertise, Kirti is very expert. Da means to give. So Subhada, giving all auspiciousness. And then Moksha Lagutakrit. Moksha Lagutakrit means rejecting even liberation. Yeah. Those in pure devotional service deride even the conception of liberation. And then Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means very rare. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. And then Sandrananda Visesatma. Sandrananda Visesatma means pure devotional service automatically puts one in a transcendental pleasure. So Sandrananda means giving transcendental happiness. And then Sri Krishna Karsini means to attract Krishna. Pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. So Krishna is the most attractive, but those who have pure devotional service will attract Krishna. Krishna will become attracted by them. Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotional service attracts even him. This means that pure devotional service is even transcendentally stronger than Krishna himself because it is Krishna's internal potency. Yeah, we have heard this Sanskrit term, asama urdhva. It means asama. Asa, sama means equal. Asama means nobody can be equal with Lord. And urdhva means higher, above. So nobody can be equal or above Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada explained here that pure devotional service, the potency of pure devotional service is actually can defeat Krishna. Because after all, this pure devotional service having a personality, that is Krishna's Sakti, Krishna's energy. And that pure devotional service personality, the topmost personality, when we talk about bhakti, will ultimately come to Srimati Radharani, Krishna's potency, internal potency. Okay, relief from material distress. In this way, there is a chain of sinful activities and their concomitant distresses, and the conditioned soul is suffering life after life due to these sins. He is suffering in the present life the result of sinful activities from his past life, and he is meanwhile creating further sufferings for his future life. So why we are suffering in the material world? Because of the sinful activities that we perform. So sometimes we are wondering that we don't do anything wrong, right, to somebody or to something, but sometimes that person may hurt us. So we have to contemplate again. This is because of our past mistake, our karma. Karma is working here. So we may have done something to that person, caused harm to that person. And as a result, now seemingly without any reason, sometimes other people may hurt us. So we have to contemplate and we have to think in this way that actually in the previous life, I have caused some harm to that person. So now I'm deserved to get this. So why we are suffering, why we are distressed? Because of the sinful activities that we perform. So Srila Prabhupada is giving, for example, here, mature sinful activities are exhibited if one is suffering from some chronic disease. If one, that's first. Second, if one is suffering from some legal implication. Second, and then third, if one is born in a low and degraded family. And then the fourth one is that if one is uneducated or very ugly. So these are examples given by Srila Prabhupada. Of course, there are so many symptoms that we can see, but this is happening when we see like those who are born in a low-grade family or they're very ugly in appearance and uneducated, full of diseases. So that's because of the sinful activities. And now it is mature, therefore he is suffering. So not immediately. So this is connected with the law of karma. We have saying in Balinese in Indonesia, it goes like this. The law of karma is not just like you are biting chili. That means when you bite chili, immediately you feel the taste very spicy. But the law of karma is acting like, sometimes it may give immediate result, but many times it's, there are some procedures before you are getting that result. Sometimes we heard the word instant karma. Instant karma means you do something now, then you will get the result immediate result. But in most cases, karma acts like a little bit slower because that person might be still protected by the pious activities, the result of his pious activities from the previous birth. So like this. So we will see that. But of all this reaction to sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. What is the evidence of this statement from the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody still remember about Bhagavad Gita? Of all this reaction to sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. That means once we become devotee, surrender to Krishna, all our sinful reaction will be vanquished, where it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita.
Sarvadharman parityaja.
So sarva dharman parityaja mamekam saranam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Krishna says, surrender unto me, I'll protect you from all sinful reactions. Nagarjun Prabhu would like to contribute something. Raise your hand. Okay. Seems no. As evidence for this, Rupa Goswami quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam 11 Canto 14 chapter verse 19. This verse.
Sorry, Prabhu, I forgot to lower my hand.
Fine. This verse is in connection with Lord Krishna's instruction to Uddhava, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, devotional service unto me is just like a blazing fire, which can be burned into ashes, unlimited fuel supplied to it." Purport is that, as the blazing fire can burn any amount of fuel to ashes, so devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness can burn up all the fuel of sinful activities. So this is the power of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service can burn immediately the sinful reactions to ashes. To ashes means nothing remaining. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agam dunvanti karsnena niharam ekapas. So in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned this verse that Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Kevala means pure. That's why we sing this every day, Guru Puja. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Kevala Bhakti means pure devotional service can be derived when we serve the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Pure devotional service, the lotus feet, how is that translated? The lotus feet of the spiritual master is the abode of pure devotional service. So Kevala, Kechit Kevala Ya Bhakti. So pure devotional service is compared just like raising of the sun, which actually dissipates the fog early in the morning. So in the early morning, when there is some fog, hardly you can see something. But when the sun rising, so that fog will be immediately gone. So agam dunvanti karsnena niharam ihabhaskara. Ihabhaskara means dissipate the fog of sinful reactions. This is the Sanskrit verse. Prarabdha palam papam tam bijam pulan mukam kramenaiva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti. It is stated in the Padma Purana that there are 4 kinds of effect due to sinful activities, which are listed as follows. The effect which is not yet fructified, the effect which is lying as seeds, the effect which is already mature, and the effect which is almost mature. But kramenaiva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. That is that. It is also stated that all these 4 effects become immediately vanquished for those who surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and become engaged in his devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. It is interesting, if you see in the previous slide, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that so devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness. See, devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Here also, Srila Prabhupada mentioned devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. Because the real meaning of bhakti is when we connect ourselves to Krishna. That's bhakti, real bhakti. That's real yoga. That's real yoga, to connect. Just like the word yoga, okay, yoga means to connect, but many people don't know to connect to whom. So real yoga means to connect ourselves to the Supreme Self, Krishna. Interesting. If you analyze how Srila Prabhupada is writing. So there is papam. This is the Sanskrit terminology taken from this Padma Purana verse. So papam, when you perform sinful activities, so first there will be sin. Okay. Sin. Aprarabdha, unmanifest reaction. Actually, if you read also the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 2, Srila Prabhupada also giving the elaboration on this 4 effects of sinful activities. He's giving an analogy there, an example, just like when you plant a tree, when you plant, when you sow the seed on the ground. So it is not immediately that seed will grow up and giving fruit suddenly out of the sudden, but there is some procedure, some process. So the seed will grow and give little, the first two leaves normally like that, and then becomes tree, and then giving flower, and then giving fruit. Then you enjoy or suffer in terms of our activities. If we do good thing, we'll get punya. If we do bad thing or sinful activities, we'll get papa. So papa, aprarabdha, unmanifest reaction. Still unmanifest means still, uh, not visible. We don't feel it, we don't get it, the reaction. And then kutam. Kutam means sinful propensity. Kutam leads to bijam, sinful desire. Bijam means seed, actually. Bijam means seed. Kutam, sinful propensity. Why we are performing sinful activities? Because we have desire to sin. And we will see later why we have desire to sin. That's actually due to ignorance. And then prarabdha, manifest reaction. Alone with prarabdha means now when it is manifest, then you enjoy or suffer accordingly. So now regarding devotional service, how it bring relief from material distress. Because first of all, yeah, I will describe more in the next slide here. As long as one is ignorant about his identity, is sure to act wrongly and terribly become entangled in material contamination. So first of all, when we engage in Krishna consciousness, we get some knowledge. Desam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10.10. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. If we try to sincerely serve Krishna, dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna will give us knowledge, yanama upayantiti, by which we can come to Krishna. So first of all, knowledge means when we get something to enlighten our brain. This is knowledge to enlighten our heart from darkness or ignorance. So spiritual knowledge we get. So that's first how the material distress can be relieved, eradicated by the performance of devotion service. This ignorance of factual knowledge can be also dissipated by Krishna consciousness, as is confirmed in the Padma Purana as follows. Pure devotional service is in Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment. Yes, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment. And when such enlightenment is there, it's just like a blazing forest fire, killing all the inauspicious snake of desire. So our material desire here compared just like the snake. So this is a nice analogy. If there is a fire, there is a forest fire. So all animals who has legs, they can run out from the forest, and birds, they can fly. But the animals, the snake who normally stay in a hole, because snakes, they have holes, who normally stay in a hole. So they will get burned because they don't realize that the fire is going on because they are inside, underground. Yeah, so they don't realize and they get burned. So similarly, your devotional service is just like a blazing forest fire, which can burn our material desires, the snake of our material desire. Yadi dashyasime kamam varam tom varadasvaka kamanam hridi asam roham bhavatastu brine. So Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Lord Nrsimha, kamanam hridi asam roham bhavatastu brine varam. May there will be no material desire in my heart. People suffer out of ignorance. This is a lecture from Srila Prabhupada. That is called papa, sin. Any criminal, mostly he does not know the real law. He commits something unknowingly by ignorance, and he becomes the subject of criminal punishment. So this is how it works. Just like a person, may commit person may commit some mistake, offense in a country. Okay. For example, murder. For example, murder. Somebody by chance or intentionally murder someone. So still, he will be put into the jail because he's committing murder. Murder is not allowed according to any laws actually in a country, according to laws in countries. So similarly, performing sinful activities is just like we are touching fire. Doesn't matter you have knowledge, you don't have knowledge. As soon as you touch the fire, you will get burned, right? It is not applied that, oh, okay, an adult, he has knowledge. When he touch fire, he will get burned. And what about the baby? You tell a small child, don't touch the fire, he will get burned. For example, 1-year-old child. You tell him, he doesn't understand anything. So when he sees fire, it looks like attractive. Whoa! And then immediately he touch and he will get burned and cry. So same thing. It is applied for everybody. Whether you do it intentionally or unintentionally, you will get punished. You will get the reaction. Just like the story of Mundaka Muni. So Mundaka Muni, when he was a small child, one time he catch, what is that, a dragonfly, and then he stepped on the butt of this dragonfly, a grass, just small piece of grass. He stepped on the butt of this dragonfly, and then this dragonfly fly on the sky, and he's enjoying seeing that, because he's just a small child. He doesn't understand what is sinful activities. So he doesn't understand that he's just an innocent child. He's enjoying that. Oh yeah, this grass is flying along with this dragonfly. And then he grew up. He became Manduka Muni. He becomes a great sage. And after he left the body, he was brought to the hell. And then immediately the Yamadutas tied his hand and then stabbed his butt with hot iron. And then he was complaining to Yamaraj, why you did this? As far as I remember, I have never done any sinful activities while I was in the earth. And then Yamaraj showed him the record, like playing a video or whatever it is in the screen. That, you see, this is what you did to this dragonfly. Then Manduka Muni was complaining that, well, I was an innocent child at that time. Why I have to be subjected to this punishment? Still, Yamaraj said that, well, intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly, unknowingly, innocent or not, you did it, you get the reaction, you have to pay. And then, of course, Manduka Muni got very upset and cursed Yamaraj that because you are devoid of knowledge, so you will descend in the earth as the son of a Sudra, as the son of maid servant. So Yamaraj took birth as Vidura. Yeah. Anyway, so that's regarding sinful activities. No matter what, if you perform, you will get it, the reaction. Therefore, ignorance is sinful life. See? Sinful life is based on ignorance because you don't know. So people should be enlightened from ignorance. And that is real religion. One should be enlightened himself and one should enlighten others also. That is the mission of Krishna consciousness. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So what we learn from this statement by Srila Prabhupada, the proof, Srila Prabhupada said, the proof of a pudding is on its taste. On its taste. So similarly, the proof of bona fide religious activities on the result, how that activities can change someone from a sinner into a pious person. If after performing religious activities, but still that person is, performing many sinful activities. That means what he's doing is not really productive. Therefore, we have seen, we ourselves experience, as soon as I join ISKCON, as soon as you join ISKCON, some transformation taking place. At least now we are following the four regulative principles, right? No meditating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. Before that, we may doing all this kind of nonsense. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that this is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to preach Krishna consciousness. In fact, in this lecture, Srila Prabhupada quoted the verse, Bharat Bhumite Huilo Manushya Janaya Janma Sataka Pare Para Upakar, especially to the Indians, those who born in India, especially, especially those who born in Bharat Bhumi, Bharat Bhumite Hoilo Manushya Janmayar, those who born in the land of Bharat, the land of India, and getting human form of life. Manushya Janmaya Janma Sarchaka Kori Kare Para Upakara. First, he has to perfect his life and then make others' life. That's about distress, relieving Krishna consciousness brings relief to material distress. And then Krishna consciousness is all auspicious, Subhadha. How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world, and how each and every man can feel pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padma Purana as follows. Person who is engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. This is the way Srila Prabhupada is writing here. Engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is to be understood to be doing the best service to the whole world and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, is pleasing even the trees and animals, because they also become attracted by such a movement. You see, the transcendental sound vibration will purify everything, not only human being, but also the trees, the stones will be purified. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forest of Jharkhand in the central India for spreading his Sankirtan movement. The tigers, the elephants, deer, and all other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. All right, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, any question? You raise your hand.
Just wanted to say that when yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes, continue.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, that when we were in SSKVK, every afternoon we used to do kirtan, and the cows used to come and sit near the temple gate. From wherever they will be, they will come and sit there.
Thank you for that nice experience, sharing nice experience. Yeah, especially cows. They are of course, they are animals, but still, cows are very sensitive, especially to the sound vibration. So, yeah, nice. All auspiciousness. So this Krishna consciousness is giving auspiciousness. Why? Yes, because first of all, when you perform devotional service, what happened? You will develop good qualities. Yes, yasti bhaktir bhagavat yakinchana sarvair gunais tatra samaste suraha. Sarvair gunais tatra samaste suraha. Samaste suraha means godly quality. Gunais tatra samaste suraha. One will develop godly quality. So when one develop godly quality, he will act positively. And when one acts positively, so that will create good atmosphere. when you behave nicely, or developing transcendental qualities like Tiksava, Karunika, Suhrida, Sarvadehinam, Ajata Sadhrava Santa, Sadava Sadhubhushana. That is mentioned also in Srimad Bhagavatam, the third canto. Yeah, Kapila Siksha. Tiksava, Karunika. Tiksava means tolerance. Tiksava, Karunika, compassion. Suhrida, Sarvadehinam, friends to all living beings. Ajata Satrava. You don't see any enemy. You don't have any enemy. Sadhava, Sadhubhushan, symptoms, the good qualities of the sadhu. So when you develop these qualities, you will act positively, and all auspiciousness will come. That's how Krishna consciousness brings all auspiciousness, not only simply auspiciousness, but all auspiciousness. Means that's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned here that the best, what is that? This is the best humanitarian activities. Yeah. Humanitarian activities is Krishna consciousness. So by Krishna consciousness, we get knowledge also that ultimately we are the spirit soul, and Krishna is our father. Sarva yoni sukantayam taya sambhavantya tasam brahma madhyonir aham bija pradakta. When we see everybody as our family, so it's natural for us will not cause harms to others. And also we understand about nature, Mother Nature. Mother Nature is Krishna's energy. We will not exploit the mother, our mother, Mother Nature. So it's bring auspiciousness. Parasuram Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly. Now your connection is good because
Yeah,
you are
I'm trying.
Very good.
Prabhu, I'm trying to understand this auspiciousness. Is it material, or what is it? Is it a guna? Is it a nature? Is it a Satwaguna, part of Satwaguna, or what is it actually?
Well, auspicious here refer to both actually, material auspiciousness and also spiritual auspiciousness. So material auspiciousness in terms of prosperity, peacefulness in the society, when we engage together in Krishna service. Yeah. And then spiritual auspiciousness means we will not be degraded to the lower form of life. We'll go back home, back to God. That's also auspicious. But as far as pure devotees are concerned, material auspiciousness is not for himself. Yeah, for himself. He's not concerning his prosperity, his own prosperity, because after all, it's just temporary, and because he developed good qualities, so he can tolerate this titiksawa, he can tolerate this. And what you said again regarding the three modes, Parasuram Prabhu?
No, I want to understand, like, what is meaning of, becoming everything becoming auspicious? Does it mean that everyone will become happy naturally, or what is it?
Okay.
Because of course, as you mentioned, that devotees are asked to tolerate, right? Sukha, samasukha dukham dhiram. So auspiciousness, what does it actually mean?
Okay. you can see in the dictionary. Auspicious means it's auspicious. It means everything is going
it
on
matter?
well. Yeah.
Is it matter, part of matter, or what is it? Is it guna, nature of matter?
Yeah, we can say if we see from that perspective also that it is part of guna. It is like sattva guna. What is the symptoms of sattva guna? Peacefulness, cleanliness. This is all auspicious, and happiness, always jolly, always in a good mood. This is all auspicious. Like auspicious means no troubles, no disturbances. You don't get agitated. This is also auspicious. Satwaguna, yes, it is part of the guna, all auspiciousness.
Okay.
And what else I want to say? Actually, it was stuck in my mind regarding auspiciousness. Anyway, when it comes, I will mention it. Yeah, so it is part of the guna also. And it is also nature of someone. Yeah, when someone is like advista sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha, he likes to make friends to others. Auspicious basically means no troubles, no disturbance, happiness. This is auspicious, giving you good things, good situation. This is auspicious.
Prabhu,
Like,
we say Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarnam. Is that auspiciousness?
sorry, mention again.
We pray Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarnam
Oh, in
in
that
Shikshastakam.
Siksastakam, Shreya Kairava Chandrikam Vitaranam. Yeah, it is also auspiciousness because
That is
this Sankirtan movement is giving relief just like moon, millions of moon. So we are burning in this material world, and Sankirtan movement just like giving its rays cooling. The moon rays is cooling, so giving just like in a hot summer. I don't know whether your room with AC now or not, with the fan at least. You feel hot outside, you enter the room with the AC or fan, you will get relief. So this is auspicious.
so. It is also like rays, Prabhu. Some kind of rays.
Some kind of
Rays, like the moon rays, soothing rays,
yeah,
aura. Okay.
yeah, kind of aura also. What you call this energy, like positive energy, just like,
Positive energy.
yeah, just like that. So auspiciousness basically means that no trouble, no disturbance, nothing. When there is no earthquake, there is no famine, there is no drought in a place, that means that place is auspicious. And this auspiciousness comes because of the behavior of the residents there. So they are performing jagya properly, they are worshiping the Lord. So that place becomes auspicious. So that's in terms of materially speaking. But as far as pure devotee is concerned, for himself, material auspiciousness for himself is not becoming his concern. Yeah, that's the point that I want to make. So basically, auspicious means when there is no problem, when everything is going on well, all is well. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Sandrananda Vishesatma. This is called Sandrananda Vishesatma. Giving spiritual happiness. So Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are: one, happiness derived from material enjoyment. Yeah, we get happiness also from material enjoyment. Happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman, the Mayavadi. They feel happy that, oh yeah, Brahmasmi. We also accept this philosophy, but they don't develop further understanding what you're supposed to do. Now you know your identity, what you're supposed to do. But they simply becoming happy when they know that they are Brahman and they want to merge into the impersonal Brahman. Also, they're happy because in the Brahma Jyoti, you get peacefulness. You just like sometimes you work or you mingle with your friends or family, at some point you feel like this is too much, this is too much, I just want to be alone, please don't disturb me. You come inside your room, you lock the door, you become peaceful, shanti, and you feel like happy. This is the happiness that the Mayavadis feel. But then how long you can stay inside your room? Therefore Mayavadi will come back again. And then number 3, happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. This is called Sandrananda Visesa Atma. Performing devotional service, you get happiness, spiritual happiness, transcendental happiness. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. What is that instruction given by Vrishabhadev? Nayam dehode havajam ridoke kastan kamam arhati vipujami o divyam putra kayena satam sudyad yasmat brahma saukyam tu anantam. Sudyad yasmat brahma saukyam tu anantam. Anantam means unlimited. Unlimited. Ananta. Ananta shesh. Unlimited. So unlimited means the happiness is unending or eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. Yeah. Where it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that material happiness is temporary, having beginning and an end. Anybody still remember from the Bhagavad Gita? I give you the clue. It is from chapter 5, Bhagavad Gita. Hey, we have completed the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, at least for the batch 1. And yeah, batch 2 also already completed the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So where it is mentioned that the Bhagavad Gita, that material.
3 types of goodness in passion and in ignorance. Mode of the food which are in beginning is like poison and in end is nectar is called goodness, in the mode of goodness.
Okay, this is from the
Something
18th,
like that, I think.
18th chapter, right? Where is it? 18 or 17?
Okay.
18, 17. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution, Vanamali Prabhu. But my question is that where it is mentioned that material happiness is temporary, it has beginning and it has end. Okay, this is the verse. Yehi sanspar saja bhoga.
5.6.
Adyanta vanta kaunteya na tesu ramate buddha. So adyanta vanta, adi means beginning, anta means end. Yehi sanspar saja bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment, material enjoyment, material happiness. What happened with that? From that material enjoyment, it's actually giving birth
It
to.
will have a beginning. It will have a beginning and end. The
Yeah.
material enjoyment, and finally it will lead to the distress. Adyantavanta kaunteya.
Yeah. So that's the verse. Chapter 5, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. All right. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness. That means material happiness will create dukkha yonaya, dukkha yoni. Yoni means birth, giving birth to dukkha. That's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, there is no preventing one falling down from material happiness. Because in the material world, happiness means just the negation of distress. Happiness means in the material world, when there is no suffering, this gap, okay, today suffering, now suffering, after a few hours, from this point to this point, maybe 1 or 2 hours, there is no problem. So that's happiness. And after that, again, suffering. So material happiness is just like this. When you are, when your head is forced, when your head is held by someone, and this person forced you to drown in the water. Put your head in the water, inside the water, and then when this person give you a chance to breathe for 2 seconds, like that's material happiness. And after that, again you will be drowned in the water. So that 2 seconds is material happiness. That's why there is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness. And there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived out of identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman. So those who reach Brahma Jyoti will finally come down again to the material world. So material happiness. The second type is spiritual happiness. And the third one is that transcendental happiness. So Brahma Ananda is actually spiritual happiness. Yeah, spiritual because you know your identity as spirit, spiritual happiness. And then this transcendental happiness is happiness in Krishna consciousness. The mystic perfection achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in numbers. We have discussed this in the Bhagavad Gita. Animasiti refers to the power by which one can become small, that he can enter into stone. For Srila Prabhupada giving more elaboration, I don't put in this slide. He mentioned that, okay, like this animasiti, you can become small, you can enter even to a stone. But what's great about that? What's great about that? Even now we can enter inside the stone mountain. We make tunnel, train tunnel. Yeah, that means same thing. Just like what is also mystic perfection.
Walking on the water.
Yeah, walking on the water, you become light, very light. Thank you very much. Walking on the water, you become light, very, very light. Jesus has this mystic power, walking on the water. So anyway, so now we have created ship. We can walk on the water, flying also. We already invented aeroplane. So what's great about this mystic achievement? After comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfection, we find that the materialistic scientists try for the same perfection. So actually there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. There is no difference. Srila Prabhupada, little bit down after this statement, he's giving a statement that there is a professor or kind of scientist, I think a professor from Germany, after analyzing this, he's thinking that it's the same thing. Why I have to pursue for this mystic yoga CDs, mystic yoga CD? And then he went to India and cultivate Krishna consciousness. Yeah. There is also a story when Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. This is a famous story. And at that time, there was Srila Prabhupada's disciple, she's Mataji. So this Mataji was wandering around Vrindavan, and then he met one Babaji, kind of yogi, and then she visited him, and then this Babaji showing a magic that an apple suddenly appeared on his palm and give to her. I think this is called practicity, that you can take some object in a far distance by your mystic power, and you can take it right there in your hand. So this apple was given by this yogi, this Baba, to this Mataji, and this Mataji was wondered, wow, this is real mystic power. And then she came to Srila Prabhupada and showed this apple, to Srila Prabhupada, and she asked, she said, like, Prabhupada, I got this apple from one Baba, that this apple suddenly appeared from his hand, and then actually slightly she was challenging Srila Prabhupada, can a devotee, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, obtain this mystic power just like this Baba? Prabhupada said, what's the big deal of an apple? We, in our movement, we offer tons of apples to Krishna and then distribute that on Sunday feast and create devotees. That's even greater. Making devotees, transforming somebody's heart, from sinner into devotees, very pious person, is much more greater than simply able to make an apple appear on your palm. This Mataji just keep quiet. So yeah, because this is after all material, it is temporary. After you leave the body, finish. Yeah, it is temporary. Na yoga siddhi apunar bhavam va samanjasa tva virahaya kamsi. Who's that? Brikasura, when he was fighting with Indra, he was in meditation. While fighting, he was in meditation on the Lord, complete absorption. The yoga siddhi apunar bhavamba. What speak of yoga siddhi? Even apunar bhava, liberation, was rejected by Brikasura. Samanjasa means person, the source of all opportunities. That's how Srila Prabhupada translated that word. Samanjasa tva virahaya kansi. His only desire is to serve Krishna. Krishna can give everything because he is the source of all opportunities. Whatever you ask, Krishna will give, will be satisfied. If Krishna is satisfied, whatever you ask, Krishna will give. But Brikasura asked that, no, I don't want anything. I just want to serve you. So that's pure devotion. And then the rareness of pure devotional service is called Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service. Devotional service can, in fact, be obtained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. Mahashevam dwaram ahoyite. Namo dwaram yositam sangisam. Mahantaste samachita prashanta vimanyava shurida sadhavoye. By serving the Mahatseva, serving great personalities, great devotees, so we can Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukti. The path of liberation is open, and devotional service begins after liberation. That is it. Susruso Sradadana Shah Vasudeva Kataruchi. Shyan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirthan. So by serving great devotees also, we can get the affinity, we can get the taste of hearing Krishna Katha. And devotional service, actually, the basic, how do you say this? The most crucial activities that one has to do is Sravanam and Kirtanam. So hearing is very important. So by serving pure devotees, we get taste for hearing. That's scientifically described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter. Okay, why Krishna is not very easily to give bhakti to people? That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, Krishna mentioned that Naham Prakasa Sarvasya, that I'm not revealing myself to everybody, only to a chosen person. I will reveal myself. So similarly, bhakti also like that. Because the reason is that Vikrinitas from Atmanam Bhakti View Bhaktavas. If someone has pure devotional service, pure bhakti to Krishna, Vikrinitas from Atmanam, Krishna will sell himself to that person. Krishna will be enslaved by that person. So that's the reason why bhakti is so rare. Yeah, Manushyanam Sahasresu, out of thousands of people, Kachit Yatati Siddhaye, maybe 1 to 10 perfection. Tatamapi Siddhana, out of those who have obtained perfection, hardly one knows Krishna in truth. So Parasuram Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Prabhu, Krishna is already, in everyone's heart, and he is already fulfilling everyone's desire. So what is the meaning that Krishna will sell himself to that person who is pure devotional service. Because Krishna already has expanded to unlimited form and is already with each and every soul, fulfilling their desires. So what is the meaning when it is said that Krishna will sell himself?
Krishna will? What is
You mentioned that in pure devotional service, Krishna will give himself.
give himself? Okay.
Yeah, so
What
he
is the
does not
meaning?
agree.
Yeah, vikri, vikri. Vikri means to sell, to give himself. So Krishna is ready to become the servant of his devotee. Of course, Krishna is residing in everybody's heart. And as you mentioned also, that Krishna is fulfilling everyone's desire. What is that verse? Yo nityanas chetanam chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. Yeah, eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. Yes, first of all, Krishna residing in everybody's heart. That means Krishna is already there with us, with everybody. And then he's fulfilling everybody's desire. Yes, of course, if you approach Krishna, you want wealth, he will give wealth. You approach Krishna, you want liberation, he gives liberation. If you approach Krishna, you want pure bhakti, he will give you pure bhakti. But what does it mean when I said, actually this is from the Gautamiya Tantra, Vikrinita Swamatmanam. What does it mean when Krishna mentioned that he will sell himself and becoming the slave of his devotees? Yes, that means Krishna is conquered by pure devotee. Conquered by pure devotee. Krishna can be with anybody, but if that person doesn't have bhakti, Krishna is not reciprocating with that person. Just like, just like, how I explain this? Just like in the room, for example, yeah. Now is a hot summer. Now is a hot summer. Okay. I enter my room, still I'm sweating because it's really hot. And in my room, there is an AC or a fan. But if I don't connect my finger to switch on the switch of the fan, will the fan turn and give me air to cool my body? No, right? Because I don't connect myself. So even the fan is there, but the fan is not acting because I don't use my effort just to switch on the fan. I don't connect my finger with that switch. So similarly, Krishna also like that. Krishna is there within the heart, but if I don't make effort to make connection with him, so Krishna just be there just as a witness, just becoming the witness of what we are doing. But Krishna will not reciprocate because we don't try to connect with him. But if we connect with him, we try to see him, look at him. Oh, Krishna is there. I'm trying to serve you. Krishna is pleased. He will reciprocate. Okay, chalo, what you want, where you want to go. I'm ready. Please let me serve your lotus feet. Krishna will tell like that because we make the effort to connect ourselves to Krishna. Just like we make the effort just to switch on that button, the fan. So the fan, as soon as you connect your finger to that switch, the fan will on and give you air and cool your body, relieve you from the suffering of the hot air like that. So whether that analogy, example, answer your question, Parasuram Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So,
yes,
I want to make a point here. When Prabhupada is coming in the ship, he wrote the poem that Krishna, you make me dance like your puppet. And but when Prabhupada reached America, and then Yamuna Mataji stole some Jagannath deity for Prabhupada. So Jagannath become puppet of Prabhupada and come to Prabhupada.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's nice example. So Srila Prabhupada pray that let me dance just like a puppet in your hand. But then seeing that effort, so Krishna now dance in Prabhupada's hand. Thank you, Vanamali Prabhu. That's a nice point. Okay, and then next, happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda, or happiness of becoming one with the Supreme, is multiplied by 1 trillion fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. That means happiness derived from devotional service is the topmost happiness, far, far beyond the happiness of spiritual happiness like Brahmananda, or what to speak of material happiness. It's nothing, not even a drop. So that's the greatness of devotional service. And then the last one, attracting Krishna. We have here about 10 minutes. Attracting Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service in the highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madan Mohan, which means that he is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive, so she can even attract Krishna. Therefore, the devotees call her Madana Mohana Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. Yeah. Continue. How Krishna becomes attracted by devotional service of his devotees is described by Narada in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verses 48 and 49. There, Narada addresses King Yudhishthira while the king is appreciating the glories of the character of Prahlad Maharaj. The devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. I repeat again, a devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj was appreciating the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, and that is one symptom of a pure devotee. When you can see, can appreciate what other devotees are doing for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada, that means you have a pure heart. Because without pure heart, you cannot see the purity in others, the good qualities in others. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. He always thinks that other devotees are greater than himself. And then actually Srila Prabhupada continued, but I didn't put. So what happened after this? So Narad Muni is describing. So in the 7th chapter, there's a title, that one of the chapter entitled Prahlad Maharaj is the best devotee of the Lord. Yeah, see that chapter. So there, after narrating the story how Prahlad Maharaj is doing service, Lord Nrsimhadev appear, Hiranyakasipu was killed. Yudhishthira Maharaj start appreciating Prahlad Maharaj good qualities. And what happened after that? Narad Muni is appreciating Yudhishthira Maharaj, saying that you, the Pandavas, always together with the Lord. What a great fortune you have. What a great fortune you have. So this is the symptoms of a pure devotee. Will always think that other devotees are greater than himself. But if we analyze again, Narad Muni, who is Narad Muni? He's even granted the three kalagya by the Lord, and he can travel. He's granted spiritual body. He can travel even to Vaikuntha also. Who can be greater than Narad Muni? But still Narad Muni said that you are such a great devotee, Pandavas. You always with the Lord, you mingle with the Lord all the time. You crack joke with the Lord, how intimate you are, like that. So a great devotee will never think that he himself great. Rather, he will think other devotees are great. Sometimes we see like this in our society. You see, this devotee, 10 years ago, I met him. He was still a new bhakta. At that time, sometimes we find that, right? So indirectly, he's mentioning that how senior he is. Okay, anyway, but we have to develop this quality of humility, and humility will come along with their humiliation. This is the principle. Humility will come along with the humiliation. If you can genuinely tolerate humiliation, that means you are humble. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that the symptom of becoming humble is that when one serves the Lord, because one is accepting the greatness of Krishna, the greatness of the devotees. So one is putting himself down. When you serve, that means you are putting your position lower than others. That's why we always say, Prabhu Hare Krishna, how can I serve you? Means we are humbly putting ourselves lower than that person. Because you cannot serve somebody when you still have the ego that, oh, I'm higher than you, and things. All right. That's the end of our presentation for the first chapter. We have about 7 minutes. I think I will not continue to the second chapter because, very less time. So, whether any question or comments before I close today's class?
So you mentioned the 3 kind of happiness. So what is the middle one, which
Material happiness, first
name
one.
after material, second number?
Second number is spiritual happiness, or happiness that one derived by identifying himself one with the Supreme Brahman, or happiness derived by the Mayavadi.
Okay. They want to merge in the Brahma Jyoti. They reach Brahma Jyoti, that happiness, and they come back after some time getting
Happiness
bored.
of happiness of becoming one with the impersonal Brahman. That's the second type of happiness.
Okay.
The third one is transcendental happiness, or
Yes.
happiness in serving Krishna.
Because you mentioned the spiritual word, that's a word, spiritual word. That's why I'm confused. The spiritual happiness or what?
So merging into Brahma Jyoti is also considered to be spiritual, but
Yes.
But it is not last for long. But when you mention transcendental happiness, or happiness derived by serving Krishna, so that's a higher level. That's the top level.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Any others?
Prabhu, I want to make one comment.
Please.
Prabhu, it was mentioned that, this Brahma Sukha, Brahmananda Sukha, the happiness derived in Krishna consciousness is million-fold. Isn't it, Prabhu?
Correct.
So I want to make comment here, like we think million-fold means multiply by million.
Yeah.
But it is not multiply by million. It is 2 power million.
Okay.
It's like, threefold. If you do threefold, it becomes 8 parts.
Correct.
But if you multiply it 3, it's different. It becomes 3 times. But if you make it fold, then it is much more than a million.
Yeah, I'm just copy pasting what Srila Prabhupada has written there.
Right, Prabhu. We don't understand the fold means even much more different.
Yeah, but we all
Prabhu,
understand what Srila Prabhupada meant.
Very well, Prabhu. No, Prabhu. Prabhu, one more thing, Prabhu. This
Yes,
Brahmananda, like Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyate. So Gyanvan, my understanding is they are identifying with Brahman.
Okay.
Right, Prabhu? So is it like this Brahmananda also, once one achieves the self-realization that he's a soul, then it goes for, many births, not like material happiness.
Correct.
Isn't it, Prabhu?
Yeah, that's
but
true.
It is temporary finally, unless one comes to bhakti.
Yeah, because after all, they have some kind of spiritual understanding, although not completely. That's why I mentioned that there are two types, there are two levels of spiritual realization. If you still remember, I mentioned that there are two types of spiritual realization. One is simply knowing that one is the spirit soul. One is spirit soul. That is one type of spiritual realization, self-realization, when one knows that he himself is not the body. But that is only half. And then higher level is that, second level is that when one knows that he is the spirit soul and he is part and parcel of Krishna and meant to serve Krishna. That's the another level. So yeah, those who are Bahunam Janmanavante Gyanavanam Prapadyante, that Gyan also refers to the Brahman realization. And that's also temporary. Maybe after 10 millions births, finally they will come to Krishna. But still 10 millions is a lot. Thank you very much, Parshuram Prabhu.
Prabhu, can I make one more comment, Prabhu?
Okay, no problem.
Prabhu, regarding that Prapti thing we were mentioning, the Yoga Siddhi.
Yeah.
So Prapti, they can the yogi, they can get an apple from some place.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they cannot grow apple.
They don't
can
create,
just pick up from
yeah,
somewhere.
They just take. They just like stealing. They just take from somewhere.
Like stealing. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah,
they can't
cannot
grow.
create.
And I was here in Parikrama in Amghat. It was mentioning like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu planted a seed and it became a tree and it gave so many mangoes immediately.
Yeah.
So that these yogis can never do.
Yogis cannot do that. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can do that. And that mango also without seed and skin. How it is?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. What else?
So, father of Kapila Muni, I don't remember his name though.
Kardama Muni.
He just by his yogic power, he just manifested the plane,
heaven. Yeah.
Heaven, floating palace.
Yeah, he is a great yogi.
So then that have also the trees. I think they have birds also there. Tree maybe also there. I don't know. So that tree also can bear fruits.
Yeah, that's of course due to his tapasya, and he got that mystic powers. Okay, there are a few occasions here written directly to me. One is from Rishi Kumar Prabhu. Can you please elaborate about humility comes with humiliation? Okay, I meant like this. Humiliation means when somebody blasts you with bad words, humiliate you. But when you can tolerate that, you don't react back in the sense of you don't retaliate on that humiliation. That means you are humble. Unless you are humble enough, you know, if you don't humble, you will immediately get upset and retaliate. For example, somebody said that, why you are cooking like this? See, the result is not good, blah, 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 and so on. You should cut like this, you should put like this, blah, blah. But if you are humble, you will say, okay, Prabhu, thank you very much. Next time I will improve. But if you're not humble enough, hey, you have to be grateful. I already cooked. Now you cook, for example, like that. So that means we are not humble. One time when I was in Cambodia in 2013, so I was cooking. And for me, cutting tomato, I just cut it. I didn't peel it. I never peeled tomatoes before. And at that time I was cooking for Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And then what happened? Oops. And yeah. And what happened when we were taking prasadam? So he found that the tomatoes are not peeled. And he said that this is very bad. He told me, he asked first of all, who cooked? I was so happy. I said, I cook, Prabhu. How's the taste? He said that taste is excellent. But, she said, but, but why you didn't peel the tomatoes? I said, in my life, I never peeled tomatoes. Why I should peel the tomatoes? I eat the tomato peels, no problem. And he said that this tomato peel is very difficult to be digested by my stomach. So blah, blah, blah. He keep going, he keep going, he keep going. He mentioned also, I went to Australia when the devotees offer some grapes, they peel the grapes. I was shocked. Wow, it's such a level of devotion. And what happened? Next day, I didn't cook because I got upset. And then my senior friend, he told me that, oh, why you just don't accept and why you become upset with his work? He's correct that, you have to peel the tomatoes, and maybe Krishna wants that you peel the tomatoes when you cook like that. And then, okay, next day I cook again because I realized that I was not humble enough because, yeah, I got humiliation. He was humiliating me. I didn't accept that. But if I'm humble, I will fold my hand. I accept that as my mistake and I will improve, right? But I was retaliating by not cooking in the next day because I feel upset. Okay, I will not cook. Somebody else gonna cook, and let's see, he can be better than me or not. Like this. So that's what I meant, Rishi Kumar. Basically, you can tolerate the symptoms of humility. You can tolerate also. And then from who is this? Nagarjun Prabhu. How to understand? By the way, the time is over. Those who wants to quit, you get my permission. No tension. But I just want to finish on this point. How to understand Lord is guiding us and clearly understand those directions, Prabhu. You told that Lord always guide us from heart. Yes, dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamamu payantite. Right? Krishna is giving that uh, guidance. But how to understand whether sometimes we feel or sometimes we feel that. I think Krishna wants me to do this. Krishna wants me to do that. How to understand that the Lord really guiding us and to understand is that really Krishna speaks to me. So we have to see, we have to check with three things: Sadhu, Sastra, and Guru. What Sastra mentioned in the chapter 2, actually, this point will come up. That when we perform devotional service, it should be in concomitant with the Shastra, rules and regulation in the Shastra. We don't act whimsically. That is called speculation. So we have to check with Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Whether sometimes you get some kind of revelation, okay? Whether from the sky or from your heart. Sometimes you experience this. But to know whether it is Krishna's desire, I have to do like this or not, we have to check with these three things. Sadhu, what the devotees are saying, what the Acharya is saying. Shastra refers to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Guru. Consult the Guru, whether Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru. That's why always important to have Siksha Guru, because not all the time we get access with the Diksha Guru. Yeah. So that's how to understand. Confirm with these three things, Sadhu, Sastra, and Guru. Otherwise, it will be only our imagination and mental speculation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We should stop now. Thank you all very much for tolerating me. Hare Krishna. Jai Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. So next week we will continue from chapter 2. I will announce which chapter should be discussed. Hare Krishna.